Against the backdrop of what our country has witnessed in the past 3 weeks, there can be no better time than now to celebrate our youth and validate their contributions to national economic development. And indeed, beyond declaration and the celebration of the potentials, ingenuity, talent, innovative spirit, and resourcefulness of our youth in Nigeria and across the world, this event this evening, the maiden edition of the National Youth Day, offers us as a people the opportunity to reflect, to take stock, and chart a new youth action plan that tackles headlong the issues that confront our teeming youth population. Let me start with a direct reference to the focus and youth vision of the African Development Bank, led by a Nigerian, Dr. Akinwumi Adesina, that the establishment of youth entrepreneurship investment banks will help to fully unleash youth potentials through technology and entrepreneurship. This assertion, made in September 2020, first validates the strength of our youth, and secondly, demands from government and the private sector direct investment in the youth population with a de-risking mentality. We will return to dissect this momentarily. The exploits of our youth here at home and across the globe signpost the fact that for every 100 Nigerian youth that excels or succeeds, there are hundreds of thousands more that can achieve the same but are unable to do that. Why? That's the question. There can be no single reason but a myriad of reasons. Lack of opportunities, education that is not suitable for the jobs available, a huge unemployment market occasioned by a struggling and sluggish economy, lack of relevant skills, lack of credit and access to finance for youth enterprises and businesses, low investment from the public and the private for the Nigerian youth. It is time that we start to change this trajectory to one that is capable of lifting millions of our youth out of unemployment, underemployment, frustration with the system, that of opportunities and stunted growth. The dreams and careers of our youth must receive a new burst of energy and renewed hope so that as a country, our future can be secured. The theme of this year's National Youth Day, which is Invest in the Youth, Secure Our Future, comes at the most appropriate time. It resonates across all strata of society. It rallies us all, government, private sector, and even the youth groups, to a new and urgent cause. This cause is to invest more and deliberately invest in the innovative minds, skills, talent, and enterprise of our youth, to make them wealth creators, self-starters, employers of labor, and leaders in their own right. Globally, there is a paradigm shift from merely empowering our youth to directly investing in them. Again, the president of the African Development Bank, Dr. Akinwumi Adesina, challenged government and the private sector to move their focus from youth empowerment to youth investment. That was September 1st, barely one day before the National Youth Day was approved by the Federal Executive Council. Adesina is on point. Without investment in our youth today, there can be no returns, either now or in the future. Dr. Adesina did not stop there. He wanted the establishment of a youth entrepreneurship and investment bank that can cater and provide for the needs of young entrepreneurs. So let's hear Dr. Adesina directly, open quote. I want to see a bank that the youth can walk into, where they are seen as assets, not liabilities, where they have faith and confidence in the young people, end quote. As a country, we are blessed and not saddled with a bulging youth population that can turn are to be the country's greatest resource if we make the right investment and we do that in a timely manner. The numbers and the data around Nigeria's youth population, the data around levels of unemployment, lack of relevant skills, lack of credit, are too well known. But beyond the data and the numbers, what should concentrate our minds today as we mark the National Youth Day is how do we intend to adjust the fundamentals of our youth development plans and engagement in the face of the data and global reorientation. President Muhammadu Buhari, since the inception of his administration 5.5 years ago, has never taken his eyes off the ball when it comes to youth development issues. He believes Nigerian youth are given to hard work and must be given the opportunities to prove this. This government has initiated a slew of multifaceted youth-focused programs that are cross-cutting. At the last count, about 25 of them undertaken by various ministries, departments, and agencies. Indeed, when on July 22nd, 2020, the President in Council approved the establishment of the Nigerian Youth Investment Fund, it was a culmination of all efforts geared at giving our youth the access to funds needed for their enterprise. The President, through the NYIF, demonstrated clearly that Nigeria was in sync and in agreement with the new thinking in youth development, and that this country sees investing in the youth as a condition to unleash their potentials. As we speak, the NYIF has been oversubscribed for the 2020 half-year funding provided for. Over 1.2 million applications have been received and are still being processed. With the protests that have occurred across the country, Nigeria stands at the cusp of change in youth development. Already, that change has begun. What is needed is to deepen the youth initiatives and accelerate the onboarding of youth beneficiaries in a transparent and effectual manner. Nigeria must indeed license a new type of youth investment banks with single-digit loans dedicated to our youth. Through the Nigerian Youth Investment Fund, the federal government has set the tone and is leading the way. Therefore, today, on the occasion of the National Youth Day, we will showcase to the world and to Nigerians 10 winners of our 60-day App Challenge competition and 5 young innovators from around the country in different fields. These are 15 Nigerian youth who no doubt represent the entire North, and they remind us of the power of the youth. Congratulations to all of them. You make us proud. I want to thank our partners, the Bank of Industry, NEPC, Ventures Platform, and IBM. You have supported us in so many ways that have made today possible, and I urge that you continue to commit to youth development. Let me quickly return momentarily to the NSAS protest. Mr. President's abiding faith in our youth saw to his meeting the 5 demands of the protesting youth. He was convinced that the acts of brutality or whatever against the youth and the larger Nigerian population needed to be addressed. The President activated all necessary levels of governance to deal with the demands of our youth. This is the way of an effectual president. In my opinion, no institution meant to protect Nigerians should be allowed to be so distorted in too many instances to torment Nigerians. Police reforms against brutality is not a hallmark of democracy, nor is it a stamp of administration. The courage of our youth and their commitment to organize and carry out peaceful protests brought this to the attention of government. Yet, in all, the youth-led protests have done the nation and its people a service. Good police action helps all of us, including the police, because it touches the life of every Nigerian. As a youth, I speak to you directly. You seek the path of a new, just social and political order. But that order can never be born or emanate from disorder and chaos. It's better to seek the path of reform that builds on the extant democratic foundation that we enjoy today, that recognizes initiatives that this administration under President Muhammadu Buhari has already commenced, but will also not hesitate to push and urge government to move faster and further if you believe that that will be better to serve the nation. This government and the youth must therefore embrace dialogue. This president and his administration will speak to you frankly and in good faith. There will be honest dialogue, but no false promises on one hand or unfair suppression on the other. The youth must be sufficiently fair-minded to access the facts and the situation, and must not swallow the ugly narratives peddled by malicious intensity by organizations that politically oppose this president. They seek to paint him as an uncaring and hateful. That is untrue and is unfair. This president cares deeply. He profits nothing when an innocent youth or Nigerian is hurt, harassed, or dehumanized. This means that he is more than willing to dialogue with the Nigerian youth because you seek reform, albeit in different ways with different priorities. Therefore, as a father figure, the president has always maintained that his actions will ultimately prove that he always saw the youth as Nigeria's greatest asset. You have only one country, dear Nigerian youth, and Mr. President is positioning it for greatness through the institution of deep, sometimes painful, but needed reforms. This is a country of youth in the century of the youth. These protests have earned the youth a well-deserved place at the table, so I urge you to take your seat in order to continue the progress and reform that you have asked for. It is clear that government needs to do more, and we know this. We are not finished. The government has gone to work. In fact, the government has been at work, and I urge you to join. The events of the last few weeks have brought so many things to the fore. But I urge you, Nigerian youth, today, to have the confidence and the fortitude to have this conversation with government. You will find Mr. President as someone that can give a listening ear. You will find him as a ready partner. So this evening, on this National Youth Day, November 1st, 2020, I say to the Nigerian youth, your time has come. Thank you.